Alright there folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, great to see you as always. Got a few more games for us today over in France, going to be touching on them in a sec. Before we do, like the video for me, get yourself subscribed if you're not. We're only about 20 odd away, give or take, something like that, from hitting the 500, so do me the favour, do yourself a favour as well. Right then, where do we start? Start from the top, and first off, we've got Nicholas Basilashvili, Mikhail Kukushkin, 1.6 for the Georgian so far. He's a favourite here, quite a decent one as well. Head to head's one apiece. Kukushkin actually beat him on the Tenerife Challenger. It's quite hard to say that actually. Tenerife Challenger, that was last year. Straight sets, 6-2, 6-2. It's a little bit concerning, isn't it? And then the Georgian beating him 2017. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Basilashvili's been good, and I know it took him for a set against Rogue, but I think he ended up winning that one well. I don't know what happened in the end. I think it ended up being a walkover, but it was right at the end anyway. Kukushkin had a bit of a slow start to the season, 3-3. Basilashvili 7-2. He can get like this, can't he? He can be a bit streaky. Only lost 2 games all year. I say all year, we're only at the end of January, but you know what I mean. 7-2 is quite good. He's only been beat by Mensah and then the kid from Belgium with the weird name. Is it Bloch? I don't know how you say it, but yeah, he's looked alright. That head-to-head, that most recent game is a bit worrying. Kukushkin, I feel like, he can be a bit of a crafty vet. Is he going to be able to hang in? I don't know. You're probably just going to have to go with the form of Basilashvili on this one, aren't you? I probably couldn't see myself putting any money on Kukushkin. I just couldn't see it. I feel like I know what I'm gonna get, even when he's on, he's on form. Like how on form can he be at this point in his career? I'm not so sure anymore. I'd be going with the Georgian if anything. 1.6 isn't too bad either, so I'd probably go with that if anything. We'll move on. We've got Kovacevic, David Goffin. Odds are pretty much the same. David Goffin has beaten him once before. That was in 2022. So we won't worry too much about that. Kovacevic, he looked alright against Carreño Busta. He's looked fairly solid enough result-wise on the surface to start the season off. What's he went? 9-3? That's good. That's really good. David Goffin's 0-3. And I think if he loses this one, this would have been statistically the worst start of his career. I don't think he's ever went a year without without winning a game in January, I think it was. Don't quote me on it, but David Goffin's one of them players, isn't he? We see him just sort of sleepwalking into form, and then all of a sudden he's playing really good. He is bang out of form. He hasn't won a match since the end of October last year. That was against Hugo Humbert. See what I mean? Like he can beat really good players, but he's been beat by Holger Rune, Artur Cazot, Alexander Vukic, Dinky, and then Benjamin Bonzi, winning just the one set in all of those losses. The one set he won being against Artur Cazot, for those that care. I think all that Kovacevic needs to do is exactly what he done against Carreño Busta, and he'll beat David Goffin. I do. While he can't win a game, while he's bang out of form, these courts are really fast as well. Kovacevic, he can take the ball early. He's very, very strong. I think this is a really bad spot for David Goffin. I really do. 1.6 is that? Yeah, 1.6, 1.65, depending for the American there. I think that's a safe bet. I really do. If David Goffin springs an upset here, then I feel like you'd be very, very unlucky. But personally, I can't see it happening. I don't see David Goffin getting a win here. I just don't think this is how you start your season off. Can't see it. Kovacevic, although the caliber of opponent that he's beat so far, I feel like on the day they're probably not as good as David Goffin, but I don't know. I can't trust them. Not anymore, but not just yet. I need to see more for David Goffin maybe in a month or two, but It'll be Alexander Kovacevic or nothing in that one. Next up, we've got Jesper de Jong, Quinton Hallis, heads 1-0 for Quinton Hallis. That was in 2022 on the clay. He's had a bit of a rough start as well, and I think Quinton Hallis has been a bit injured, hasn't he? He hasn't been fully fit. He went 1-2 so far to start the season off. We did see him have to pull out of one of the games. He did manage to take a set off Arthur Fils in the Australian Open. Jesper de Jong hasn't won a game so far, 0-3 to start his year off. He hasn't won a game since the start of November. Actually, been beat by Boo, Andrea Lagan, Aziz Dugat, and then Liam Draxel as well. He only took the one set off Dugat on the way. Providing Quinton Hallis is fully fit and good to go, which let's just say he is. Not only is he playing in France, these courts really suit someone like him. They really do. Massive save, really big save, massive save is what I meant to say. It's the ball really hard as well. I see Jesper de Jong. It's the same with the David Goffin thing. I can't see this being the spot where you start to turn things around and get yourself a win. I really don't. You know, the people who de Jong's been getting beat by, the ranked a lot lower than him. A lot lower. Quinton Hallis, we know what he's about when he turns up, and I'm expecting him to, with it being in Montpellier. So 1.45 Quinton Hallis, that looks sound. That looks sound. Once again, if de Jong just pulls off an upset there, you're so unlucky. So unlucky. So I'll be going with the Frenchman in that. I've only got a few more, haven't we? Oh, look at this. This is hard, this one. You've got Boo, and Constant Lestienne. You're getting Boo at 1.6. I don't like it. That's all. I've been really impressed with Constant Lestienne. Anyone think he was going to beat Borna Coric today? I thought he may have been good for the set, but I suppose that's just how inconsistent Borna Coric can be. Should he have been beating him? I'm not too sure, I'm not too sure. He's looked quality through qualifying, let's be honest. He's looked so good. Benoit Paire, Terence Datman, and then obviously Coric all in straight sets. He's bageled a couple of them as well on the way, I'm sure he has. Boo did get past Daniel Altmaier, but I fully expected him to do that. I fully expected him to beat him. And what was it? Tiebreaker in the first. 6-3 in the second. We know how good Boo can be. He started off really poor, managed to get the win against Altmaier. That to me, that's just like, that's being force fed a win. You've been under the layup there, haven't you? I can see why he's the favourite. I'm aware of the level that Boo can operate at when he's going good, but it's his first win all year, and he hasn't looked too promising, apart from when he come up against the clay merchant there. So people have been struggling with Constant Lestienne, and while he's a dog again, I wouldn't mind taking him just to take just the one set off Boo, just the one set while he's at home. Why not? It's usually the way these things go over in France, innit? Oh fucking hell, I forgot about this one. Andrei Rublev's playing in this tournament, and he's the number 1 seed, coming up against Christopher Eubanks. He's already beaten once before. When was that? Last year, Australian Open, straight sets. Probably the quickest one of the day. Not through certainty, but just purely based on the fact we can't trust Andrei Rublev, can we? Excuse me. Can't trust him. We haven't been able to for a good while, and I definitely am not going to trust him here. Not a chance. Not a chance. Didn't look good against Fabian Madison. Looked awful against Joao Fonseca in the Australian Open. Christopher Eubanks did get his first game done in straight sets, but if we're comparing the opponents, realistically it's night and day, innit? Kachmazov, Rublev, the Rublev that we know can turn up anyway, but he just can't win a game. I can't remember. Looking at his last 10, what's this? The World Tennis League and World Tennis Masters. He was flying in that. He was absolutely flying in that, but then come back to the start of the season, absolute garbage once again. I would not be surprised to see Andrei Rublev get beat. You wouldn't. It wouldn't come as a shock to you. He's the biggest favourite of the day. Wouldn't be surprised to see him lose. Need to see more from the Russian before I start trusting him a lot more. With that being said, we will move on to Artica Zoe and Felix Auger Aliassime. 1.5 for Felix here. He's beaten twice before, although they were anything but easy. Fairly recently too, we've seen Artica Zoe take a set in Adelaide at the start of the season, and I was actually in this very tournament last season, Montpellier 2-1. Artic's always been taking sets off him in both of these, 6-2 and 6-1. They're the sets that he's won. Aliassime's managed just about the one break, 6-4, 7-5, 7-5, 7-6. Artic's hasn't been playing bad. He has not been playing bad. He looked decent against Stan Wawrinka, but we had a feeling he'd win that one. Auger Aliassime was one of the best players on tour. Gaslit everyone until he bumped into Davidovich Fokina, and yeah, the rest is history, as we all know. Fucking unbelievable, and I haven't forgot about that either. It was only a week or two ago, about 2 weeks ago. Not going anywhere near him. Not going anywhere near Felix Auger Aliassime. The odds for Artica Zoe to win just the one set are really good. I'm sure they're close to evens, roundabout. So, food for thought. I'd have a look at that. I just couldn't trust Felix, and I imagine you can't either. So we'll just wrap it up. It's been short and sweet, hasn't it? Short and sweet, like I say. It's only the Montpellier 250, and I'm not going to force anything on these. There's a couple of decent looks today. Might just stick a couple of parlay pieces there, or if I go for a double, obviously it'll be pinned. But we've got Alexander Bublik, Dominic Kepfer, Bublik coming in as quite a decent favourite, 1.6. These haven't played each other since 2017, which Dominic Kepfer won, for those that care. He looked decent against Gregoire Barrera today, straight sets, 6-4, and then a tie break in the second. We said it, didn't we? I wish I'd have took him. I wish I'd have took that. I said Dominic Kepfer probably beats him. He's doggish, isn't he? He's so doggish, he doesn't go away. I haven't seen Alexander Bublik win a game since the Paris Masters in October last year. That was against Fabio Fognini. That's the only win that he's got in his last 10. He's only won one set. That was against Alex de Minaur as well. Beat by Rune, Struff, Rune again, de Minaur, Kekmanovic, Cerundolo. He's been so bad. He's been bang out of form. And it seems to be the story with a couple of these games, but mainly with this one. Is this the game that Bublik just comes and snaps back into form? Is he going to snap that losing streak there? It's going to happen. It'll happen sooner than later, but you can't trust it. You've seen nothing from Alexander Bublik. That's the one that would suggest that he's going to come ready to win this, even though he has won it twice before. I highly doubt he makes it a third. Highly doubt he wraps this title up for a third time. Dominic Kepfer for the set. He was a dog against Gregoire Barrera. He's a dog again today. Why wouldn't he take a set off Bublik? Bublik can't even win a set. He hasn't been able to for a few months now, so dog or not in that. I might go for it, I'm tempted thinking about it. I might talk myself into it by the time I've uploaded the video. If it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. But that wraps us up anyway, folks. I appreciate you stopping by, taking the time as always. Like and subscribe. I'm only a couple away from 500 now. Edging closer every day. We'll be there very, very shortly. I can feel it. Take it easy. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. I'll be saying goodnight to you. Let's go get some cash today, and I'll see you tomorrow.